Today, let's dive into a little bit about the meme coin market, what it's going to look like. I think you guys will want to check this one out. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into TechPath. Today, we're going to be diving in on the project Floki. This, of course, is a channel partner of PBN, and we wanted to understand a little bit more how communities are built, how the meme coin market could progress around 2025, and I wanted to invite Pedro Vidal from Floki into the show.
Paul, thank you so much for having us on. It's always a good day when we get to talk about all the great work we're doing at Floki. So essentially, Floki is a community-run project. We've been around since 2021. And oddly enough, we're actually the first community takeover. So while it's become kind of like a buzz with CTOs, Floki actually pioneered the movement. And there's been a series of challenges that we've had to overcome, which many in the blockchain space have had to do over the last couple of years. But in terms of our growth and what we've been able to do over these last couple of years was essentially be able to grow from our origins. And if you know a little bit about our history, and for those that may not, I'll do a quick recap. We were actually rug pulled by our original developer. And the second developer that came in also left with the funds. So that left our community without a developer. And many projects don't make it out of that position. And there's many projects that are in the blockchain grave, so to speak. But it's a true testament to the power of our community and our current core team that we're able to essentially provide us guidance, and the community wanted to do something special. And out of that is the Floki as we know it today. Now, it certainly hasn't been easy to get to where we are, but I think it's important to understand what our secret sauce is, right? And from the very beginning, we wanted to be different. So in order to be different, we had to tackle some of the big problems in blockchain, because most projects, they want to be relevant, but not necessarily effective. And we like to think that we follow a dual-prong approach, where we can be innovative in the space, but not lose our meme origins. But in order to do that, we had to tackle some serious problems, right? First, we look at blockchain gaming. It's been plagued with an economy that's not sustainable. The play-to-earn mechanics aren't always sound. So we decided, okay, we're going to tackle this, and we're going to create a game that's able to improve upon existing technology. But beyond that, we're going to do all these other offerings. So we're going to get into the DeFi space. We're going to get into tokenization. We're going to get into education. And I know we're going to have a chance to talk about that a little bit more during our conversation. But that's how we've been able to get here, is by constantly pushing the boundaries, not following anyone's lead, being the world's first in many different silos, and honestly showing the world what's possible with a project that's born in the meme space that's focused on utility.
Well, the thing that is interesting to me, if you look at just the lineup of the top market cap tokens out there, Floki obviously coming in right below Bonk. You've got Pepe in here, Shiba, and of course Doja. All these are legendary tokens, from the meme standpoint. That's impressive to see a community be so strong, especially under the circumstances that you guys came in from. But interesting to me is also the fact that you've expanded into some different areas in terms of the ecosystem. Within that, there was a couple of points I wanted to hit on. We've talked a little bit about Valhalla in the past. You referenced a little bit about the game. We'll talk about TokenFi. But first of all, was it the community that was really driving Floki to expand the ecosystem into some new areas, or was this something that the devs and some of the key team leads wanted to do on their own? What was the driver behind that?
Well, initially, once we started to actually pick up the pieces from the previous two developers, we wanted to make sure that the community had power in the direction of the project. While many projects talk about that, we actually put it into action. We're actually governed by a DAO. So when you look at some of the most strategic decisions that have guided us to where we are today, they've actually been influenced by a DAO proposal and the subsequent approval of that DAO. So the first utility offering of Valhalla, once that was announced, it takes several years to put out a good game, right? Because you could fix the play-to-earn mechanics, you could make an economy that is sustainable, but if it's not fun, what's the point? Right? We want to be able to have our cake and eat it too. But it was very important for us to have our finger on the pulse on what's important to our community. And we try to meet them where they are. So we're very data driven in terms of our marketing and our strategic alliances, but we were listening to our community, and they wanted to be part of a movement. They wanted something different. They wanted all the hoopla that you get from a meme project but they also wanted to see utility that wasn't being offered by other projects. And that's what we decided to do. We wanted to make sure that if we were going to do gaming, we were going to get it right. If we were going to launch into the DeFi space, we wanted a massive DeFi protocol that not only was innovative, but that would push the tech forward. And that's exactly what we did with FlokiFi. That is, short for Floki Finance. And we were in our first decentralized instrument was our FlokiFi token locker, which actually took the tech forward in the sense where you no longer have limitations on how many years that you can actually lock your LP or other assets. Before there was limitation between 240 and about 440, 450 years, depending on the instruments that you would use. But not only does our platform adhere to the ERC 1155 standard, which is really important if you want to save fees.
Right.
You could also extend the lock time and period for as long as you want. 1,000,000 years, 10 million years, 100 billion years. It's really up to you. So we've been able to really push things forward and listen to our community. And they have the power. And when you're governed by a DAO, those decisions are binding. And that's how we got TokenFi. That's how we've been able to make sure that we, burn the cross-chain bridge. There's all these strategic, dimensions to what we're doing. And behind it all is our incredible community.
I like the fact that, again, understanding how these communities are built. I think most people looking at the meme, markets right now, community is really what this is about. So the fact that you guys have been able to really kind of cue in on that and go with what the community's efforts are really focused on is great. I want to also talk about the trading bot, because this was an announcement that you guys did on the trading bot, and this was in a pretty big partnership with Stocktwits. So first of all, how does it work? This happened over on February 5th, so this is something big. You guys are going to get some pretty big exposure here in general. What does this look like for Floki, and what will be some of the key features of this?
Well, when you look at what we're doing, it's always important to look through the lens of how far can a meme project go if it's hyper focused on utility. And depending on where you are in your blockchain experience timeline, whether you just started or you've been around for a while, there's some instruments that are very important to have. And the trading bot is one of them.
Right.
If you go back to the first couple of weeks that you were into blockchain and you can remember what you had to go through to get into your favorite projects, you would realize that it's very cumbersome, right? And very frustrating. So we wanted to follow suit with the successes and the high standards of our previous product offerings, but take it further. So that's what our trading bot actually does. It's the Floki Trading Bot. It is utilized via Telegram. And the idea was to make it better, stronger, faster, and more secure. And then also add the elements of our marketing and of our brand, which makes it truly unique. Because not only are we planning on going to multiple chains beyond what we currently offer, which is obviously BNB, ETH, recently Solana,
Right.
as well as Base. But you're able to have certain features in terms of certain contests and campaigns where you can actually earn those fees back, certain rewards, certain airdrops. And it was important for us to be able to do that. And in its very short lifespan, we've been able to cross over $168 million of total of transactions thus far.
All right, so looking at Stocktwits right here, first of all, I guess when you think about Stocktwits, this is one of the biggest platforms out there in terms of interaction around trading. Big community. What was the process for you guys to hook up with them? How did this come about?
Well, the biggest thing is always delivering for our community, right? And when you look at all the things that we offer, all the products and services, our most valuable asset is our community. So we always want to deliver. And one of the main things that we take pride in is that we're very selective with who we partner with and who we do campaigns with. And as you were mentioning, right, Stocktwits is just one of these recent actions and activations that we've been able to really catapult exposure for our Floki Trading Bot to their millions of users. It was important for our community to understand that we want to make sure that the entire blockchain space is fully aware of the Floki Trading Bot, what it could do, what it has been doing, and what the future holds for all those that may utilize it.
So Pedro, talk to me a little bit about when you look at the roadmap for 2025 around a major project like you guys. Valhalla is talking about a mainnet launch here in Q1. Is this still on time?
Yes.
What's the timeline looking for
Yes.
right now?
It, well, we are on schedule for a mainnet launch Q1 of this year, so we're very, very excited about it. Right? It may seem just like a point within a certain timeline and roadmap, but for us, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
And one thing for those that follow us understand that a promise made at Floki is a promise kept. So we're very excited about the release of the mainnet version of the game because it's accomplishing so much already. You could play it on testnet now if you like at Valhalla.game. But we really want the world to understand that a strong community with great leadership, always focused on innovation and delivering at the highest quality standards, there's really nothing that could limit you in the space.
Well, I think the key here again is we start to see projects that evolve into gaming, community building. We're probably going to see a lot more in the way of a ton of tokens starting to make it into the market. Are you guys at all worried about how because this is really the Memecoin bull run. I mean, we're seeing so many different projects being launched. Now you've got AI tokens that are now launching projects. We've got a variety of different initiatives that are happening out there. Any plans to deal with that as 2025 rolls around?
Well, I think a strong component is to offer education, right? So we don't worry about the additional projects entering the space because I mean, when you're focused on fundamentals and providing enhanced utility, that's the road that we navigate by. Right?
Yeah.
What I do worry for is for those that are part of the uninitiated and are recently stepping into crypto. They may not fully understand the importance of digital security, making sure that you have the right resources when you're doing your research.
Right.
So we actually pioneered University of Floki to have a robust curriculum to help those that want to know a little bit more about blockchain, the issues that arise from it from the security front, but also understanding the tech behind it. And many individuals don't. Some folks really don't care how blockchain works. They're just chasing green candles, and hey, that's okay if that's your perspective. But we want to have the entire knowledge base that's available for those that want to see how far that rabbit hole goes. It's actually incumbent upon us that are part of these, massive projects that utilize our platform to help people get better and more educated in the space.
Well, I think that's it's a good effort because this is one of the things that we hear most of the time, even from our own audience, is one, they come to our channel. We're fairly well balanced here in terms of what we look at in different projects and themes. But I think the bigger arc here that we try to focus in on is again, advising, education, and really doing your own research, getting out there, and because everybody's got a little bit of a different spin on how they want to invest. So it's good to see that you guys are putting that together. All right, well, excellent. We're going to be watching you guys very closely, Pedro. So for 2025, I can't wait to see more news as you guys start to launch more within the Floki ecosystem. Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Really excited. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, so if you guys are part of the Diamond Circle, make sure and jump in right now. It's a great place to get additional content. We always leave a link also down there to our Telegram group. This is where I go in and communicate with our audience. It's a great place to just get involved, and it's free, so it's easy to do. All you have to do is click the link down below, and of course, follow me out there on X at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechBat.